Have you ever noticed that your legs are becoming weaker as time goes on? It seems as though the power is gradually disappearing step by step. Most individuals believe that it is simply a natural aspect of getting older and blame it on age. On the other hand, what if I told you that this is not the true reason? Imagine for a moment that the food you consume on a daily basis is stealthily reducing the strength of your legs, and you are completely unaware of this fact. Indeed, the issue is not simply getting older, rather, it is the food that you consume. Your legs are either getting stronger with each meal you consume, or gradually becoming weaker with each bite you take. And the worst part is that the foods that are responsible for this are the foods that the majority of people consume on a daily basis. On the other hand, here is some good news. You are in charge. The only thing you need to do to reverse this, drop and regain your leg strength, is to steer clear of a few fundamental foods. However, I want you to stick with me until the very end, because I am about to reveal 5 items that are subtly weakening your leg, as well as what you should consume instead in order to replenish your power. In addition, before we get started, make sure you click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications so that you are never left out of the loop on life-changing health advice. In addition, please leave a comment below and tell me whether you have ever experienced sudden weakness in your legs. What do you think about it? The time has come to get started. 1. One of the most quiet killers of muscle is processed sugar. Take, for example, the scenario in which you wake up feeling a little bit lethargic. As a result, you create a cup of coffee for yourself, whether it be a granola bar purchased from the shop, a bowl of cereal, or a muffin. You grab something to eat. It gives the impression of being a typical morning ritual, right? But what if I told you that this breakfast, which you consider to be completely harmless, is actually working to undermine your leg strength? Sugar that has been processed is one of the most detrimental substances to your muscles, and here's the fact. Your blood sugar will immediately begin to rise as soon as you consume it, which will set off a chain reaction within your body. Initially, you might experience an increase in your energy levels, but this is merely a trick. You experience a rush in insulin, and before you realize it, your blood sugar drops, leaving you feeling exhausted, lethargic, and weak. Nevertheless, this is only the beginning. Over time, consuming an excessive amount of sugar can result in chronic inflammation, which gradually reduces the strength of your muscles. Because of this, your muscles are unable to absorb essential nutrients like magnesium and calcium, which are absolutely necessary for them to maintain their strength. What is the end result? Leg weakness, joint stiffness, poor circulation, and even an increased risk of nerve damage are all symptoms of this condition. Furthermore, here is the true surprise. Candies, sodas, and baked goods aren't the only foods that contain sugar. There are other foods as well. It sneaks up on you in foods that you would never anticipate. That bread that you bought at the store, packed with added sugar, your preferred spaghetti sauce, which is laced with sweets that are concealed from view. Even salad dressings and flavored yogurts that are supposed to be healthful are actually fighting against your muscles in a covert manner. So what are your options? How do you break away from the hold that sugar has on you and recover the strength in your legs? What should I eat instead? Choose natural alternatives to white sugar, such as honey, dates, or coconut sugar instead of white sugar. These are still able to satiate your craving for sweets, but they also contain nutrients and fiber. In lieu of sugary treats, you should reach for dark chocolate, a handful of nuts, or Greek yogurt with berries if you find yourself needing anything sweet. The consumption of these options will offer your muscles with the fuel they need to function properly. Pay close attention to the labels on your food. Even foods that are low in fat or nutritious frequently contain sugars that are not readily apparent and are referred to by names such as corn syrup, dextrose, or maltodextrin. What's the big picture? Sugar is stealthily eroding your strength, but you have the ability to reclaim it via your own efforts, make the move and provide your legs with the support they require in order to maintain their strength, continue to be active, and remain pain-free. 2. Those foods that are deep-fried and fast food are the secret enemy of your joints. Sugar that has been digested is a silent killer of muscle, as you are already aware. What if, however, I told you that the following item on this list is even more disgusting? Just picture this. Imagine that you are out with your buddies and the air is filled with the aroma of golden fried chicken and crispy fries. Take a taste, and for a brief instant, you are overcome with utter joy. Enjoyable, tasty, and pleasant crunch. What you don't feel, however, is as follows. You are not aware of the knowledge that is not being spoken sneaking into your joints. There is no sensation that your circulation is slowing down, which is preventing your muscles from receiving the oxygen they require. There is no sensation that your bones are gradually becoming more fragile with each mouthful that you take. It's not only that fried foods are unhealthy, it is there, in front of your eyes, that they are draining your strength. Is it the true offender? The trans fats. These synthetic fats can be found in virtually every item that is deep-fried or served at a fast. All of your favorite foods, including your crunchy fried chicken, your crispy fries, and even that nutritious fish sandwich, they do not merely contribute additional calories, they cause a raging inferno of information to erupt within your body, the equivalent of a concealed wall that assaults your muscles and joints. And this is where things get really scary. This ache is not merely a passing annoyance. When this information is processed over time, it begins to break down muscle fibers, which causes your legs to become weaker, slower, and more prone to injury. Have you ever observed that you feel sluggish after eating a meal that is very greasy? There is more to something than meets the eye. Consuming fried foods slows down circulation, which means that less oxygen and nutrients are reaching your legs. Fried foods are also high in fat. However, you won't feel the hunger in your muscles right away because they are starving. When you finally reach the point when your legs no longer feel as strong as they once did, the damage has been slowly and surreptitiously accumulating. It is only getting worse. It is not enough for fast food companies to fry food merely once. They repeatedly reuse frying oil, transforming it into a hazardous sludge that is loaded with free radicals because of their activities. These molecules are unstable and they cause havoc within your body. They hasten the aging process, weaken your muscles, and even remove calcium from your bones. If you find yourself craving fried chicken in the future, keep that in mind. At first glance, that golden coating may appear to be harmless. Nevertheless, beneath the surface, it is actually beginning to take your strength one bite at a time. What does that imply then? Do you have to give up foods that are crispy for good? Absolutely not at all. It all comes down to the method of preparation. Alternately, you may try baking, grilling, or air frying your preferred dishes rather than deep frying them. Not only do you get the crunch, but you also avoid the destruction. Make the switch from processed vegetable oils to olive oil or avocado oil, both of which are beneficial to your heart and actually protect your joints rather than having the opposite effect. A handful of nuts, roasted chickpeas, or baked sweet potato fries are all great options to consider if you are in the mood for a snack that is both salty and crunchy. Your hunger will still be satisfied, but you won't suffer any long-term consequences. How you walk tomorrow will be determined by the food that you consume today. At each and every meal, you have the option of either nourishing your weaknesses or enhancing your strengths. Do you think that a few minutes of taste is worth years of stiffness, pain, and weakness? This is something you should ask yourself. The next time you are about to grab that platter of fries, your limbs are depending on you to make the decision that is best for them. Do you mind? 3. Meats that have been processed, tearing away at the strength of the muscles bite after bite. Think about this. When you are in a rush, you are seeking for something that you can eat quickly and easily. Make a grab for a package of deli meat, possibly some sausage or a hot dog, and reach for it. It is not only tasty but also convenient, and it appears to be a decent source of protein. But what if I told you that each meal is stealthily reducing your power, weakening your muscles, and making your legs more fragile? What would you say to that? It may appear like processed meats are safe to consume, but beyond their tasty exterior lies a potentially harmful reality. These products contain a high concentration of preservatives, nitrates, and an excessive amount of salt, all of which gradually undermine your body's capacity to keep your legs strong and healthy. Let's address the topic of sodium. You are already aware that consuming an excessive amount of salt is detrimental to your heart. On the other hand, were you aware that it also drains the strength from your muscles? The startlingly high quantities of salt that are found in processed meats are the cause of water retention and impaired circulation throughout the body. Your muscles will suffer from bloating, stiffness, and an inability to operate at their best. Your leg strength will gradually decrease as a result of this imbalance, leaving you feeling weak, exhausted, and more likely to get cramps. Nevertheless, this is only the beginning. The nitrates and preservatives are the ones that pose the greatest threat. These chemicals are added to processed meats in order to lengthen the amount of time they can be stored. On the other hand, they produce a toxic environment within your body which leads to inflammation and the breakdown of muscle tissue. When you ate a meal that was heavy in sodium, did you ever feel uncomfortable and stiff? Not only is that a sign of dehydration, it is an indication that your muscles are having difficulty coping with the strain that is caused by persistent inflammation. As time passes, this persistent tension causes your legs to get weaker, which makes actions that you do on a daily basis, such as walking, climbing stairs, and even standing, more difficult than they should be. The most shocking portion is about to be revealed. There is a connection between nitrates and nerve injury. In other words, eating processed meats does more than only make your muscles weaker. It is also possible for them to have an effect on the nerves that regulate them, which can result in delayed reflexes, decreased coordination, and even nerve discomfort that lasts for a long time. So what are your options? The solution is not to eliminate sources of protein. The key is to pick the appropriate variety. If you want to avoid reaching for deli meats, sausages, or hot dogs, you should choose fresh meats that have not been processed. The chicken, turkey, or fish that is grilled offers a high-quality source of protein without the addition of any dangerous additives. In the event that you are hunting for plant-based alternatives, tofu, lentils, and beans might provide you with a significant increase in protein without the information. In addition, if you really must consume processed meat, make sure to select products that are free of nitrates and consume them in extremely small amounts, mostly due to the fact that each bite you consume either adds to your strength or takes it away from you. Therefore, the next time you take a bite out of a slice of deli meat, you should ask yourself if it is worth losing your mobility, your vitality, and your future strength for this singular taste. In life, your legs are what carry you forward. Don't weigh them down by making decisions that aren't for them. 4. Consuming meals that are high in salt can cause your legs to lose strength. If you thought processed meats were terrible, you should wait until you learn how much damage sodium alone can cause. Even if you steer clear of deli meats and sausages, there is another adversary lurking in your kitchen. Foods that are heavy in sodium that are slowly but surely eroding the strength from your legs on a daily basis. Consider the things that you consume on a regular basis, such as the instant soup, the canned veggies, the frozen dinners, the salty snacks, and even the sauces that you sprinkle over your food during meals. Each and every one of them is loaded with salt. A small amount of salt is essential for your body, but consuming an excessive amount of it can have a negative impact on your muscles, circulation, and your ability to maintain an active lifestyle. What happens when you take an excessive amount of sodium is that your body will retain water in an effort to maintain a balance between the levels of salt. Despite the fact that boating may appear to be harmless, it actually causes your blood vessels to constrict, which in turn restricts circulation and reduces the quantity of oxygen and nutrients that are delivered to your muscles throughout the activity. Your legs will feel slow, weak, and prone to cramping if they do not receive the necessary amount of blood flow. Moreover, this is not the end of it. The absorption of calcium is hindered by excessive salt, which means that your bones are becoming more fragile with each meal that contains a high sodium content. Because of this, you are more likely to suffer from fractures, joint pain, and overall mobility problems in the long run. Have you ever had cramping in your legs while you were sleeping? Or have you observed that your feet and ankles become swollen after eating a meal that is high in salt? This is your body's way of pleading for assistance. It is a warning indication that your muscles are being put under undue stress and that your strength is being depleted as a result of an excessive amount of sodium. But what is the true risk? Even the majority of people are unaware of the amount of salt that they are consuming. It can be found in a wide variety of foods, ranging from bread and cereals to restaurant meals and packaged items that are marketed as being healthy. Even edibles that do not have a salty flavor might contain an excessive amount of sodium. And this is where things take a turn for the worst. Foods that have been processed are intended to make you want more of them. As you consume more salty snacks, your taste buds will adjust to the salt, and as a result, meals that are fresh and natural will appear tasteless in comparison. This results in a vicious loop in which you continue to consume more sodium without even realizing it, which further weakens your muscles and puts stress on your kidneys, heart, and bones. In that case, what is the answer? To get started, carefully read the labels on the food. There is a surprising amount of sodium that can be found in meals that are often consumed. The amount of salt that can be found in a single slice of bread, a bowl of cereal, or a so-called healthy frozen meal may be higher than you would anticipate. The daily salt consumption that is advised is somewhere between 2,000 and 300 milligrams, yet the majority of people consume significantly more than that without even realizing it. Fresh, whole components should be substituted for processed foods that are high in salt. When you are able to, prepare your meals at home and season them with herbs, spices, lemon juice, or even a tiny bit of Himalayan pink salt or sea salt instead of using table salt. You may maintain a healthy balance of sodium in your body by eating foods that are high in potassium, such as bananas, avocados, and leafy greens when you have a hankering for anything salty. In addition to its role as a natural sodium regulator, potassium also plays a role in the elimination of excess salt from the body. Here is something that is quite significant. Hydration is an essential component in the process of flushing away excess salt. If you have a meal that is high in salt, it is important to drink a lot of water so that your kidneys can process and eliminate the excess salt. Fatigue, muscle cramps, and poor circulation are all symptoms that can be brought on by a combination of deficiencies in salt intake and dehydration. Each and every mouthful that you consume either gives you more strength or takes it away from you. It is important to ask yourself this question the next time you are about to grab that bag of salty chips or pour on some additional soy sauce. Do you want to nourish your muscles or do you want to weaken them? You are the only one who can make the decision that is best for your body. And the wonderful part is that it is never too late to begin. In order to strengthen and improve the health of your legs, it is important to prioritize the consumption of fresh, whole foods above processed foods. 5. Bread made from white flour and processed carbohydrates which rub your muscles of strength. In the event that you have ever experienced feelings of lethargy, weakness, or exhaustion following a meal, you may be attributing these sensations to a lack of sleep or stress. But what if the true offender is right there on your plate that you are eating? It's possible that white bread, pasta, and other refined carbohydrates are causing more damage to your muscles than you initially thought they were. It has been a widely held belief for many years that carbs are an indispensable source of energy. Not all carbohydrates are created equal, despite the fact that this is true. It's possible that the difference between whole grains and refined grains could be the difference between legs that are weak and exhausted and muscles that are powerful and invigorated. In the process of being refined, foods like white bread, white rice, ordinary pasta, and other refined carbohydrates have had their natural fiber and nutrients removed. And what is left? A carbohydrate that is digested quickly and causes a spike in blood sugar, which provides you with a momentary surge of energy, but then causes your blood sugar to drop immediately afterward, leaving your muscles without the fuel they need to function properly. What's worse is that refined carbohydrates don't just make you feel sleepy, they also cause you to feel worse. They are responsible for causing chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and nutritional depletion, all of which lead to the weakening of muscles, the discomfort in joints, and even the loss of bone minerals over time. If you have ever eaten a meal that was high in carbohydrates, have you ever experienced a rapid decline in energy, legs that shook, or a feeling of heaviness in your muscles? This is due to the fact that your blood sugar levels quickly rise, which forces your body to exert more effort in order to bring them back down. Because of this process, your muscles will be damaged, your energy will be depleted, and your capacity to recover from activity will get slower. Moreover, it is not the end of it. If your body consumes an excessive amount of refined carbohydrates, it will favor the store of fat over the upkeep of muscle. This means that your muscular strength will decrease, that you will accumulate more fat, and that you will have a higher risk of having illnesses such as diabetes and poor circulation, both of which directly weaken your legs more. Now, what exactly is the answer? Consuming no carbohydrates at all is not a need. Ultimately, you should concentrate on selecting the appropriate kind of carbs, ones that provide your muscles with fuel rather than ones that deplete their strength. Remove the white bread and replace it with whole grain or sprouted grain bread. Select brown rice rather than white rice, quinoa rather than refined pasta, and vegetables that are high in fiber rather than processed treats that are high in starch. The consumption of whole grains, which are abundant in fiber, B vitamins, and important minerals, can assist in maintaining the strength of your muscles and maintaining a consistent level of energy throughout the day. If you are accustomed to consuming refined carbohydrates, you should begin making minor adjustments to your diet. You will notice that your taste buds will alter, and before you realize it, you will begin to feel more invigorated, stronger, and less dependent on fast sugar fixes to get you through the day at the end of the day. Moreover, here is something that you might not be aware of. The digestion of carbohydrates is slowed down by protein and fiber, which helps to minimize rises in blood sugar. When you combine your meals with lean protein sources such as eggs, salmon, or legumes, as well as vegetables that are rich in fiber, you will not only boost your muscle strength, but you will also feel fuller and more content for a longer period of time. Take this into consideration the next time you grab for a plate of refined spaghetti or a sandwich made with white bread. You are providing your muscles with the nourishment they require, but at the same time, you are gradually losing your strength. It is up to you to decide. The more minor adjustments you make now, the more likely it is that in the future, your legs will continue to be strong, your energy will remain high, and you will continue to move easily without experiencing any pain or exhaustion. Before it is too late, you should take charge of your strength and make it your own. Please give this some thought for a moment. Your legs have been your transportation through each and every stage of your life, from exciting escapades as a youngster to long walks, from maintaining your composure in the face of adversity to persevering in the pursuit of your dreams. However, what happens when they begin to lose their strength? When even the most basic activities become more difficult, when stairs appear to be steeper, and when exhaustion settles in more quickly than it used to? Many individuals are of the opinion that muscle weakening is an inevitable consequence of aging, which is a fact that we must come to terms with. It is not the case, however. Being physically active is not the only factor that determines the strength of your muscles. It all comes down to the food that you give them on a daily basis. You are either providing your muscles with fuel or slowly breaking them down through the meals that you consume. And you are now aware of the reality. Carbohydrates that have been refined, processed meats, and high sodium content are stealthily taking your strength. Inflammation, insulin resistance, and nutrient depletion are all caused by these foods, which will result in your legs becoming weaker, your energy levels decreasing, and your future mobility being put in jeopardy. Now, however, I have some excellent news. When it comes to making a change, it is never too late. The human body is remarkably resilient and adaptive to new situations. As soon as you begin providing it with the appropriate nutrients, it will start to recover, rebuild, and regain its strength. Imagine being able to wake up feeling energized, walking with confidence, ascending stairs without any reluctance, and being aware that your body is working for you rather than against you. At this point, the decision is entirely up to you. Do you intend to continue consuming foods that deplete your strength? Or do you intend to make the transition toward foods that nourish your muscles and support your ability to be active and independent for many years to come? The first step is to begin today. One meal at a time, one choice at a time. If you take action before it is too late, your legs will be grateful to you, your energy will return, and your future self will be thankful that you did so. Also, before you leave, I would like to know which of these dishes surprised you the most. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Is it possible that you have been consuming something that is causing your legs to become weaker without even being aware of it? Let's discuss it further down below. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications if you found it helpful. Because your health is important, your strength is important, and because we will continue to find the hidden truths that have the potential to make your life better, we will continue to work together.